Bickley and Marotta. Bickley and Marotta mornings. Arizona sports. The local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
No matter what happens tonight, the Diamondbacks need to remember. They need to remember what Chase Field sounded like during the October of 2023. There was the clinching game against the Dodgers and the thunderous chance of beat LA. There were 3 consecutive nights against the Phillies, including a Friday night for the ages. There was a real buzz and a real home field advantage in a stadium that I have grown to despise over the years, a stadium that has been called a morgue and an airplane hangar and much, much worse. But during this month, the stadium has sounded so fresh and so hot that the broadcast actually referred to Chase Field as a new, modern ballpark. Can you believe that? They need to remember that this town is starving, and not just for a winner, because we have that in the Suns. We want more winners. We want options. We want diversity of success, and it's a lot easier for Valley fans to get into a 48,000-seat baseball stadium than for a playoff game than it is at Footprint Center. And they need to remember that these playoff games prove this baseball team has struck a chord, the right chord. And they need to reward Torey Lovullo with a new contract because Lovullo has been one of the breakout stars of the playoffs. And they need to reward Mike Hazen with a big chunk of payroll to make this team whole, to give this team the pieces they need to turn an underdog into a world champion in 2024. All right, today's Bickley Blast brought to you by my great friends at Chapman BMW, who make luxury attainable. Find them online at chapmanbmw.com.
3-2 pitch coming. And a fly ball deep right center field. He has done it. This game is tied on a pinch hit home run by Alec Thomas of Kimbrell in the 8th. 5-5 game. Alvarado ready. Marino digs in. And a shot to left center. That's a hit. D-backs lead. Other runner goes to third. Marino delivers in the clutch. It's 6-5 Arizona. Gabby Marino took a 3-1 pitch and drilled it between the center fielder Rojas and Marsh to put the Diamondbacks on top.
Is that the sound you were referring to, Vic?
Yeah.
And the explosion after the Paul Sewald strikeout to
was
end
unbelievable. And then people hanging out in the concourse area chanting "Let's go D-backs" after the game was over. You said you watched the game at a sports bar and you kind of like walked into the exact same vibe. Mm-hmm. That's what it's all about, man.
It's one of the things where you don't want to go home.
No.
You don't want to go to sleep after it because you just want to sort of live in the buzz of that moment.
That's exactly right. And everybody seemed to feel the same thing on Saturday morning. They woke up going, okay, the baseball game is until 5:07 p.m., but I wish it were like in an hour. Let's start pouring drinks. That's what it was like. And to me, for this to happen to that baseball stadium, it says a couple of different things. Going into the series against the Phillies, it was my belief that this was a great opportunity for the team, not only to grow having to play games at Citizens Bank, which is certainly an education for them. Because you look at these players, how could these guys not be better for this experience? How can Alec Thomas not be better for this experience? So you think about that, but then it's also the case too where I was hoping that the Chase Field crowd would see what Citizens Bank was like and then go, okay, we can match that. And for 2 nights they did. The atmosphere was not the same on Saturday, and I don't know whether it was the slow, sluggish start of the team. I'm thinking that was mostly it. But I also think there was an element of fans who showed up to that game like, okay, let's experience this great buzz, not knowing that buzz has to come from the people in attendance.
Yeah, but again, we've talked so much about this postseason, not just in this series, but about the Diamondbacks getting off to fast starts. And when the top of the first results in 2 runs for the Phillies, including a play where the Diamondbacks looked completely discombobulated, that sucks a lot of the life out of the crowd. Even though Zach Gallen settled down and kept it at 2-0 for a while, but it just kind of cast a pall on everything.
You're right up the middle. You're right up the middle. You're right on the money about that. So I think there was a variety of factors that made Saturday disappointing. But if you zoom out, getting 2 wins in 3 games against that team, and experiencing what we did. This is 4 times in 5 nights when the vibe at Chase Field has been a distinct advantage for this baseball team.
Mm-hmm. Can they use yes, they looked discombobulated on Saturday. Can they use the positives of 2 games where they looked very combobulated?
Well, I think, and as
did that kill? How much did Saturday kill the vibe?
I don't see. I really liked the vibe that Torey Lovullo struck after the game. It wasn't. There was no defeat in him at all. He was properly disappointed in his own team for the game they played on Saturday. So there are no moral victories with him, which I appreciate. And I think Torey has been fascinating. I wrote about him. You can read about it on ArizonaSports.com. He has really leaned into this, and I've been stunned at how much on attack he's been. Friday night, I never thought Garrett Stubbs. Shut up, Garrett.
Garrett Stubbs.
I never thought Garrett Stubbs would become a thing. But after Friday night's game, Torey Lovullo called him out, not by name. He just basically let the media know, this backup catcher over there said he was going to make a beeline to our swimming pool. I'm like, wow, this guy, Torey's going after the media for daring to suggest the Diamondbacks were lucky to be here. Newsflash, this is an 84-win baseball team.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to get some of that. But Torey's leaning into it, and Torey's been really vocal. I talked to somebody about this in the organization, talked to a couple people actually, and it's all by design. They know that they've got a baseball team that doesn't exactly, tip the meter in terms of personality and excitement. They got a lot of guys who, when they struggle, it was explained to me this way. They've got guys who, when they struggle, they retreat into more work. Instead of like some baseball teams will go, you know what? Let's just go out tonight. Let's go on a team bender. Even if we lose the next game, so what? Let's go flush this and bond and grow together, that kind of stuff. So he has given this team a real voice, and I've really come to appreciate it. I think he's done a fabulous job. I know Torey's got his detractors in the Valley. I think he's been great.
To Jarrett's point, though, can you get combobulated again? Absolutely. There was no reason to believe after Game 2 that this series would still be going on a Monday. They had lost Game 2 10-0. They'd given up 6 home runs to the Phillies in the first 2 games. Coming home and again faced with the reality of a rookie right-hander who had trouble keeping the ball in the ballpark all year and a bullpen game. And they evened up the series. So it doesn't always, losing a game, we wondered, hey, the D-backs finally lost a game, then they lost 2 games. How are they going to respond? They responded fine. This series is far from over. Now, is this going to be easy? Absolutely not. Alec Thomas talked about that.
We've always believed in ourselves, since day one. So, this isn't new to us. We've been in a situation where we've been down before, so in the regular season, and I know it's going to be a tough atmosphere in Philly, but I believe in these guys, and we're never going to give up.
There's Corbin Carroll.
You never want to lose, but just got to keep our head up and go attack Philly. We got Merrill on the mound tomorrow. We know the kind of tone that he sets, and we're going to follow suit on offense and defense.
Interesting, too, going back to our conversation with Steve Gilbert, he said he fully expects Tommy Pham to be back in the lineup. A right-handed hitter against a right-handed pitcher. Pham has not been productive in this series at all. I'm not sure I'm on board. I might be in favor of another tough decision from Torey Lovullo to keep Tommy Pham on the bench and maybe save him for some late-inning pinch-hitting situations.
You don't trust your veteran to come back this way?
I go back to Tommy Pham. Yeah, I do. I'm not the biggest Pavin Smith fan.
He did great pinch hitting, but he didn't look so good Saturday.
Got 3 hits in the series. Tommy Pham's got 1.
I know.
Every hit is at a premium.
Not arguing with that, but you have to remember, man, Tommy Pham
is a vibe.